Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to learn speech writing, how to write good speeches. Well, speech it refers to a formal address or discourse delivered to an audience. So it is a direct contact with the audience. So when we have to write speeches, we must understand certain principles of speech writing. Speech writing process it involves conducting an audience analysis, determining the purpose of the speech, selecting a topic, narrowing down a topic and gathering data. So when you plan to write a speech, you must consider all these facts clearly. So let us understand these one by one. So first is audience analysis. You must understand who your target audience are. So, for this, you must understand the demography, that is, age range. What is the age range of the audience in front of whom you are going to speak? The male female ratio, their educational background, their nationality, economic status, and other important factors. It is also important to understand the situation. What is the time? What is the venue? What is the occasion and size of the audience? Because accordingly, you need to prepare your speech. Audience analysis also includes understanding the psychology. That is, understanding the values, beliefs, attitude, the preferences of the audience, their cultural and racial ideologies, their needs. Accordingly, we need to draft a speech because when we are actually expressing any idea in front of someone, we should keep this in mind that we don't hurt their sentiments, we don't hurt their beliefs, and we don't insult them. And these things are to be considered in mind. Then, purpose. What is the purpose of writing the speech? Whether you are giving an informative speech, whether it is for an entertainment purpose, or you want to persuade the audience on certain topic. So, when we talk about informative speech, we say that when we write a speech, we want to provide certain information to the audience with a clear understanding of the concept or idea presented by the speaker. Entertainment speeches are those speeches that provide the audience with the amusement. It is just for the entertainment purpose. Persuasive speeches involve the speeches which are written to provide the audience with well argued ideas that can influence their own beliefs and decisions. Then selecting a topic. It is very important that you select a topic which you are interested to. In on the topic which you can speak well and you are confident that you can convince the audience. Then it is important that you narrow down a topic. That is, making your idea more specific. Do not just keep on elaborating unnecessarily. Be specific what you want to convey to the audience. Then is the data gathering. It is important that you collect ideas, information from reliable sources, and you should collect relevant information related to the topic. It is not that you just get carried away by the topic and you just get swayed and you are speaking which is not even related to the topic. So, selecting a topic and narrowing it down, gathering data is very important part before writing a speech. Speech can be of different patterns. You can make your speeches to be biographical one. Biographical means where you can refer to the descriptions of life of a person. Then categorical, based on the topic, related to different categories supporting the topic. It can be simple casual speech where it presents a cause effect relationship where you mention certain cause which has an effect and how it affects the audience. Then it can be a chronological pattern, that means you present an idea in proper sequence manner referring to the time order. You can use the comparison or contrast pattern, that is you can present some comparison of 2 or 3 points in your speech aid. You can compare the data that you have collected and present in front of the audience. Then it can be a problem and solution speech. That means you present and identify and present a particular type of idea, and you then talk about the solutions, the practical solutions that audience can always refer to. So, a perfect speech must consist of, when you are writing a speech, your speech must have a heading, a proper heading. That means you have to write a title to it. You must give a proper title to your speech. It should be a catchy one, but it should not be a single word title and not even more than 5 to 6 words. You can go as creative as you want to be with this topic, writing your title, but it should not exceed 6 words. Then the opening line. This opening line, it includes the salutation, introduction, and the topic introduction. But make sure that you do not mention your personal details like name, your school name in the answer sheet. When it is written for the examination purpose, this thing has to be taken care of. So, when you start the speech, as if you are giving a speech in your school in front of the students, so you may start by writing respected principal, worthy teachers, and my dear friends. I, comma, the name, use the name given in the question, stand before you. Now, students, you must keep this in mind that whenever you are writing, addressing a designated person, write an adjective with that, like respected principal, worthy teachers, this way. And don't go with writing that I am standing in front of you. No, use the expression I, comma, the name, comma, stand before you to speak on the topic, and then write the name of the topic. You can always be creative. You can include quotations, you can include catchy slogans as an introduction to your topic, but don't use long quotations in the speeches. Use brief quotations. You can make your speech interesting with the help of these quotations. Then comes the body of the paragraph. In the body, you actually expose the topic. That means you develop the topic, you compare and contrast, you use quotations, you use facts and data, you talk about the main idea, advantages, disadvantages, and thus you are actually presenting the main idea in front of audience. But don't keep on elaborating about any problem or difficult situation in your topic. Talk about some practical remedies, practical solutions. You are not to scare the audience with the topic. You have to provide some awareness, some solution to the listeners so that they can start working on it. And then comes the concluding paragraph. So restate the main idea of the speech in the paragraph again. When you are winding it up, some of the ideas briefly again. And it is always suggested to follow the rule of strong, weak, strong. Always talk about the strong points that you have and then the weak ones, and end it on a stronger note. Leave the audience with a memorable statement. And last but not least, conclude the line thanking the audience for their cooperation and their patience. So the thank you word is to be written. It is compulsory part of the format of the speech. So in the format that is counted for speech writing, you have to write the heading, then the introduction where you write the salutation, where you address the audience, where you introduce yourself and you introduce the topic. Then you follow with the body and the concluding paragraph. And last, you write thank you. Marks distribution. Previously, the speech writing was of 10 marks, but as per the revised syllabus, speech writing is of 5 marks in your syllabus, which is divided as for format, that is including the title and the thank you part, 1 mark, then the content, 2 marks, and expression, 2 marks. The word limit for your speech writing is 120 to 150 words. Try to keep the word limit within these limits, given limits, that is 120 to 150 words, because when you exceed the word limit, your marks are deducted that way. So try to present the idea in a compact way, in a concise and brief manner. Don't go for excessive, unnecessary elaboration of the subject matter. A few tips that I would like to share while writing the speeches: that make sure you use language which is suitable for the audience you are addressing to. Using complex vocabulary for addressing children is not advisable. So be very careful when you are using the vocabulary. It should be according to the age limit of the audience. Remember the first point that we discussed, that audience analysis is an important part of your speeches. You can use quotations, which are highly recommended. You can use examples. You can use, even include small stories in the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of your speeches. Make sure that you write in paragraphs. When it comes to writing, there should be distinct paragraphs in your speeches to mark the various topics discussed under different headings. You're always suggested to practice previous year's question papers. This will help you in understanding the type of questions that are there in the examination. Read as many as example you can. It will give you how they can be written in a proper manner. And in this manner, reading newspaper is definitely going to help you. Read magazines, read newspaper, because this will keep you updated about the current affairs. You will come to know about the ideas and opinions, which will definitely help you during the examination. The most important fact is plan before you pen down your speech. As I always guide you, that prepare a rough column in your answer sheet, jot down the important points that you want to add in your speeches, sort them out in a proper manner, and then start writing. So planning is very important part. Presentation part is also very important. Write your speech in a neat and tidy manner, give paragraph changes, and follow the format. Double check for the grammatical accuracy, the spellings that you write, because they carry marks. Remember the expression part. Marks are deducted if there are too many grammatical errors and spelling errors. Leave adequate number of lines between paragraphs to make it look clean. You can also underline the main points which is important in the speech. It will help the examiner in locating the ideas discussed by you in the passage. So underline it, and use a pencil and a scale for underline. Don't underline it freehand, because sometimes what happens is, while underlining the lines, you also cut some of the words written, which appears to the examiner that it is cut by you. So don't do that. Underline it with a pencil and a scale. And if you read good books, if you read good idioms, so those are always in handy for you. They will help you in improving the presentation and the idea in the speeches. It is also important for you to follow the sequence. Whatever you are discussing in the speeches, the chronological order is to be maintained. So, sorting off the main point is very important. Decide what you want to add. The first, remember the strong, weak, and strong rule. Write the strong points, then the weaker ones, and conclude it with the stronger ones. Strictly follow the prescribed word limit, and always begin with your strongest point. Do give your opinion also in one or two lines in the winding up part of the speeches, because you are addressing the audience. You are also including your views there. So give your point of view also precisely at the end of the speech. Do not deviate from the topic. Don't write unnecessary facts, and be sensitive about your audience. Judge your audience properly. Be very careful with your language, jokes, and non-verbal cues. So, one thing which I found very interesting on the internet that I would like to share, the 6 power principles for speech editing. When you are editing your speech, rechecking it again, edit for focus, edit for clarity, edit for conclusion, edit for continuity, edit for variety, and edit for impact and beauty. Let me just quickly explain it. Edit for focus means ensure that everything you have written from introduction to conclusion is related to the central message. And it is not that you start getting voices from the audience that what's the point, what is the message of the speech. So be very careful. Edit for clarity. Make all the ideas in your speech clear by arranging them in logical order. Otherwise, you will get the voices like, I don't understand the message because the examples or the supporting details were confusing. Edit for conclusion. Keep your speech short, simple, and clear by eliminating unrelated stories and sentences. Use simple words. Otherwise, you will definitely get this. That speech was all over the place. The speaker kept talking endlessly as if no one was listening to him. Edit for continuity. Keep the flow of your presentation smooth by adding transitions of the words and phrases. The linking of the thoughts should be very nicely done. Edit for variety. Add spices to your speech, shifting tone, style, formal to conversational, so that you're able to involve the audience into your speech. Otherwise, you will definitely get these kind of voices. I didn't enjoy the speech because it was boring. Last, edit for impact and beauty. Surprise the audience, make your speech memorable one. You can use descriptive images, write well crafted, memorable lines, use quotations, figure of speech, and thus you can make your speech writing interesting. This is one example that you can read. A small example of speech writing is given. Importance of cleanliness, the title is given there, and then a quotation is there, then the introduction part is there, then the paragraph, the topic is exposed, it is further discussed, and at the end, when it is concluded, all the main points are taken, and at the end, we write thank you. So these things are to be considered while writing speeches, and hope this speech writing is clear to you. So thank you all for listening patiently. Have a nice day.